Match day 3, the things are starting to take shape. We are back with Group A, and this is an important one. Sri Lanka against Nepal, the first of today's double header. Plenty at stake already, even this early in the tournament. Both these sides have made winning starts, and that just adds a little more edge to this contest because today it's not about points, it's about positions. Sri Lanka, they come with momentum and with a belief that has been earned, not given. The opening game was not just a win, it was a statement of character. 2 goals down at halftime against the hosts Maldives, a position that tests more than just tactics. It tests resolve, it tests identity. And what followed was a response full of courage. 3 goals in the second half, not rushed, not panicked, but built on persistence, on trust, on the refusal to accept defeat. That kind of comeback tells you something deeper about this side, which is managed by.
أول شيء السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. مباراة المالديف كانت مباراة قوية، مباراة جميلة. أما مباراة اليوم مباراة مع منتخب نيبال. مباراة طبعا مباراة راح تكون قوية، بطاقة تأهل إلى الدور الثاني، ونتمنى إن شاء الله أن يكون الشانس للمنتخب سريلانكا إن شاء الله في المباراة هذه اليوم.
Ahmed Al-Manai, a voice behind the revival. And now Nepal arrive with 3 points in hands, but with a performance that still invites reflection. That opening game against Bhutan began with authority, early control, early advantage, a side that looked comfortable in its rhythm. At 2-1, they had the lead, and with Bhutan reduced to 10 men perhaps, the expectation of control to the finish. But football really follows expectation. And guiding that balance, their head coach, Urjan Shrestha. 3 years now in charge of the Nepal side. A lot of expectations from him, the AFC A license holder. He is with us and we'll hear from him ahead of this crucial tie.
Coach, you had a very good first game against Bhutan in the last match. What is your expectations on this match, and how difficult would it be for your team to win this match?
Very difficult. अब फर्स्ट म्याच हामीले धेरै राम्रो खेल्यौँ, अलिअलि बिगाऱ्यौँ, तर श्रीलङ्काले पनि मालदिप्ससँग धेरै राम्रो खेल्यो हैन, 2 गोल खाएर 3 कमब्याक गर्यो. आजको म्याच चाहिँ अब टफै हुन्छ.
First match it was pretty good. Some odds and off was there. So today match is also tough.
What a lovely view. Capital of Maldives, Male, the smallest capital in the world. And now in the tunnel there is a different kind of silence. Not empty but full of thought, of focus, of anticipation. Final words exchanged, final glances shared, routines repeated almost instinctively. Because this is the moment just before everything becomes real. Sri Lanka and Nepal, they stand side by side, and this is the official match ball of the SAFF Under-20 Men's Championship 2026 of Vector-X. Sri Lanka and Nepal close in distance, yet separated by ambition. And both very aware of what lies ahead. Not just a game, but an opportunity. An opportunity to take control of the group, to move on, and one step closer to the semi-finals. And in these quiet seconds, before the noise, before the motion, you can feel it. The weight of what's at stake. Both the teams fresh from a victory in their last encounter. Sri Lanka beat the hosts Maldives and Nepal defeated Bhutan 2-1. And in the recent past, Nepal lost in the final back in 2024 by 1-4 to Bangladesh. However, the under-19s and the under-18 side have managed to clinch the SAFF championship title. In 2015, they beat India in the final in the penalty shootout. And in 2017, the season Bhutan hosted the SAFF under-18 championship. They beat India 2-0 in the last game of round robin to claim the title for the second time. They are yet to win it at the under-20 category. And that drought could well end this season. Sri Lanka, they are here to prove as well. They are no pushovers. And historically, Nepal have had the upper hand in this fixture, winning both previous meetings without conceding. But youth football always brings unpredictability. And Sri Lanka will be eager to rewrite that script tonight. A couple of meetings at this category. The last meeting was on 18th of August 2024 at the Alpha Complex in Lalitpur. Nepal beat Sri Lanka by a solitary goal, and Niranjan Dhami scored the winning goal on the 23rd minute mark. However, they met in the third place game as well in 2019 when Nepal beat Sri Lanka 0-3. It's quite an interesting matchup. It's seldom you see a Sri Lankan side walking into the second game of a tournament with a win under their belt. It's going to be a spectacle here at the National Football Stadium. This is match number 4 coming your way live and exclusive on the YouTube channel of Sportzworkz. Two nations, two identities carried in the voices of these young players. And now we pause for the national anthems.
Please remain standing if you are able for the national anthem of Nepal.
And Nepal has the game. We're on. The composure seemed to waver. Against Bhutan, the spaces grew, the certainty faded. And Bhutan, despite being a man down, found a way to ask questions. And Nepal, for the first time in the contest, looked unsure of the answers. And so yes, a win, and in tournaments like this, that matters always. Just the Sri Lankan side, only one change, and the goalkeeper Mohammad Shahid picked up a serious injury. Is replaced by Nadal Senapala. The rest of the side is unchanged. It's a 4-4-2 from Ahmed Al-Manai, Aiden Pereira and Hussein Abdullah to lead the line. But for Nepal, they've gone with, they haven't tinkered with the winning combination. It's a 4-3-3 from Urjan Sreshta. Sujan Dangol will lead the line. The officials in charge is Rauf Raif, the centre referee, supported by Shahid Hussain and Dilwara Khan. And Adnan Anju is the fourth official. Two captains, Hussein Abdullah of Sri Lanka and Ravindra Kunwar of Nepal. Face to face, a brief exchange, a quiet moment before the storm. Simple, almost routine, yet setting the tone for what follows. In tournaments like this, it always matters, but also a reminder. There is a Nepal side, it's a 4-3-3 as I've mentioned, John Bista and Ganesh Magar, the two holding midfielders, Alex Shrestha onto that number 10 role, aided by Dharmendra Kunwar and Subhash Bam on either sides. This evening, Nepal returned not just to build on victory, but to find control, to find consistency, and to show that they can command a game from beginning to end. It is the head coach who will be pleased with the fight shown against Maldives and now looking for consistency. Now, Sri Lanka, they can endure, that they can adapt, and that they can rise when the moment demands it. And Urjan Sreshta, who got that result against Bhutan, but will want control for longer periods. It's a different challenge for the Sri Lankan side because belief once earned must now be sustained. And Sri Lanka step onto the pitch tonight not just as comeback kings, but as a side looking to prove that their story has only begun. And Nepal to find control, to find consistency, and to show that they can command a game from beginning to end. This is match number 4. The second match day of Group A. The first of the doubleheader. And right after this, the hosts Maldives will take on Bhutan.
Ladies and gentlemen,
30
the
PM kickoff.
moment we've been waiting for. Let the
And now the countdown starts.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Off we go. A simple truth defines it. Win and you rise into the semi-finals with a game to spare. And anything less and uncertainty lingers until the very end. Sri Lanka and Nepal, two journeys, one moment, and Group A finds its turning point. And let's see how the centre-back pairing of Rohan Muktan and Prashant Muktan functions in this particular clash. And Nishan Lawat keeps his place at right back. Sri Bhagwati Club's right full back. Plays in the B Division League of Nepal, was the player of the match in the first game in the domestic circuit. Rohan Muktan plays for the New Road team in the Anfa National League. Was looking for early openings. Dharmendra Kunwar, the captain. Spreads it to the far left. Subhash Bam could spell danger! Clatters the woodwork. And again. What a start that could have been from the Gorkha Brigade. Subhash Bam cuts into his right, onto his left, gets the shot in, clatters the crossbar, and the header clips the top of the post as well. Rude awakening for Sri Lanka. They are known for making slow starts, and this was the attempt. The captain Dharmendra Kunwar on the follow-up. Still couldn't make it count. This was the chance. Wrong foots his marker. Cuts in to his right from the left. That's what he's going to offer over the course of these 90 minutes. Subhash Bam, who scored a stunning goal against Bhutan. Cutting in from the left and then unleashing that shot from almost 20 yards out. That gave Nepal the second goal against Bhutan. And the Group A stands at delicate crossroads. Both Sri Lanka and Nepal, they arrive with 3 points, but tonight offers something greater than just another result. A win here and one of them steps into the semi-finals. Oh, great takedown. Defenders converging. And in the blink of an eye, the chance was gone. You won't get too much time inside the penalty area to shape yourself up. Quick clearance from the Sri Lankan defense. A breakneck beginning from Nepal. And that's what Urjan Shrestha wanted. An early goal to settle the nerves. The score within the first couple of minutes against Bhutan. That eventually helped in setting the tempo. A foul given. Sri Lanka did make a slow start against Maldives. They were trailing 2-0 up until half-time. Is Hussein Abdullah winning the free kick? The man who scored the winning goal against the hosts a couple of nights ago from the spot. To give them all 3 points. Sportzworkz on the set piece, a product of the Zahara College. He plays for Lava Lane Sporting Club in the Champions League. What can he produce from this free kick? From far out, it's dipping and almost problematic for Pemba Nurbu. Got enough purchase on it. MK Farik. That was chipping in the keeper on his line. Pemba Nurbu saw that sail over. The Machindra under 18 goalkeeper. Support for Nepal. Not huge in number, but certainly the expectations gonna be sky high from this team. Searching for their maiden title at the under 20 category. They've won it at the under 19s, at the under 18 age groups. Gotten closer a couple of years ago at their home turf. A loss to Bangladesh in the final by a big margin. They will be looking for redemption this time around. Both the times they've lifted the under 19s and the under 18s, they've beaten India in the final. One of the most successful teams of this tournament. Anything less from this particular fixture, the group remains alive, unresolved, waiting for its final act. And with Maldives set to face Bhutan next, the permutations only deepen. because one result here could simplify everything or complicate it entirely. Sri Lanka wins back possession and plays it into the gully. He was picking up pace. Mohammad Khatib, who reduced the margin against Maldives in the last game, wrote the comeback story. The number 10 was with the Mova Gaspulla FC and was named the fans' favorite player of Week 3 in January 2026. He scored a goal against Sri Lankan Police Sports Club as well. We saw Ronan Sullivan in action last evening for Bangladesh. Quinn Sullivan and Ronan Sullivan, the two brothers, can competition by storm. Both of them have got a good amount of contribution in the Major League Soccer for Philadelphia Academy FC. He's got the throw in. Nishan Lawat takes it. A heavy touch across the face of goal. Flag went up immediately. Sujan Dangal, the ball eventually falling behind him. The number 9 was the high scorer in the SAFF under 17, which was held in Bhutan. He was also part of the Nepal under 19 team, which took part in the SAFF championship last year in India. He's made 3 appearances and a couple of goals to his name as well. And 2 years ago, it was a golden opportunity for Urjan Sreshta to defeat Bangladesh on home soil and win the SAFF Under-20 championship after 7 years. And with that defeat against Bangladesh in the final, Shrestha's dream of winning the title for Nepal remained unfulfilled, while Bangladesh achieved a historic first. There is, of course, a lot of pressure in age group football. Eliminated by losing important games against teams that they had previously beaten. This time, though, they tried to win the title without any shortcomings. And Nepal has been participating at the Youth Under-20 Championship since the 2015 edition. And the first edition in which most of Anfa Academy's talented players participated. And Nepal delivered an impressive performance and won the title. The team, captained by Bimal Gharti defeated India 5-4 on penalties in the final to bring the title home. And 2 years later, in the second edition held in Thimphu, the capital of Bhutan, and despite a 1-0 loss to the hosts in the first game, they went on to defeat Maldives 2-0 and Bangladesh 2-1, and India 2-0 to win the title. And since then, Nepal has really had the chance to reach the final of the tournament. And this has continued since Urjan Sreshta took charge of the team. Dharmendra Kunwar himself has already played in the last 3 age group tournaments under Urjan Sreshta's supervision. And he was a part of the Nepali team when it reached the final of the SAFF Under-17 Championship in 2022, which India hosted. The SAFF Under-20 Championship season before last. And he was also on the team when Nepal reached the semi-final of the SAFF Under-19 Championship in India. Alik Sreshta turns away from his marker. Ambitious try from long way out. Here is the number 21, Alik Sreshta. He says the team is taking the field this time with the goal of winning the title after 9 years. But that was completely wayward. A well-balanced squad this time around. They have prioritized teamwork over individual performance. and they do expect the result to go in their favor. It's a meeting of two evolving identities. Sri Lanka tried to invade into the opposition's territory. Nepal, they looked rock solid in defense. Nishan Lawat, Bijay, the two fullbacks, Rohan Mokhtar and Prashant Mokhtar, the centre back pairings, John Bista and Ganesh Magar in front of them. John Bista takes up that number 6 role, the protective screen in front of the defensive line. Dharmendra Kunwar and Subhash Baum will look to stretch the opposition from the wide areas. Malik Shrestha and Sujan Dangal likes to operate down the middle. And that's how this team is shaped this evening. Aiden Pereira and Hussein Abdullah are leading the lines for Sri Lanka, but they need more support from the midfield four, with Hijazi and Rishad in the centre, Mohammad Khatim and Rashad Shihab down the wings. Another great ball. Oh, Subhash Baum, great trickery, but overplays it slightly, which is why Raif signals for a goal kick. And he is agitated. Ahmed Al-Mannai. A 4-2-3-1, his preferred system. The Sri Lankan side that has already shown resilience. A side that has already proved they've got the mental toughness to come back, ability to recover, to respond when the game seems lost. And there is a spirit in them, a growing belief that they belong. Here they come from the far right. Needs greater support. And that didn't work out. Searching for a breakaway move. And now Subhash Baum almost nicks it off Ahmed. And that's deemed as a foul by the referee. Well, there is a spirit in the side, a growing belief that they belong. And here is the Pakistan team. They're keeping an eye on this from the stands. They will be in action tomorrow against their arch rivals India. Well, that's a 3:45 p.m. kickoff at this particular venue. Do not forget to tune in. We'll bring you all the live action from the SAFF Under 20 Men's Championship 2026 only at this platform. The Pakistan side did show some fight against Bangladesh in the first half, but in the second half it was Ronan Sullivan's show. One from a free kick, another clinical header, sealing the deal for the Bangla Tigers. And they'll come strong at India this Saturday. Another defeat for Pakistan and they would bow out of this tournament. Only 3 teams in Group B, India, Pakistan and Bangladesh. The top 2 to make their way into the semi-finals. We've got 4 teams in this particular group. Nepal, Sri Lanka, Maldives and Bhutan. Sri Lanka currently on top by the virtue of scoring more goals. Even though both of them have got a similar goal difference of +1. Nepal are second. Today's outcome could well define which team gonna end on top of Group A. They have to face the runners-up from Group B. in the first semi-final on 1st of April. Nepal just carrying the structure and expectation, a team that can control, that can dictate, but still searching for consistency across the full 90 minutes, and this man is looking for consistency as well. Subhash Bam. His left foot are rising. Too much on it. Eliminates one out of the equation and then sells one dummy to NF Ahmed. Falling into the trap, committing early, the number 3 of Sri Lanka. And eventually, a space opened up for Subhash Bam. He plays for Chayasan Youth Football Club. Played in the 7th football tournament in Philippines. And it becomes a contrast, one driven by momentum, the other by method. Into the part of Dharbendra. Tried to bring it under his control. A tackle from Mohammad Yasir. Farik and Ahmed are the centre-back pairings. Mohammad Maziat and Mohammad Yasir, the 2 side-backs. Sri Lanka have got Mohammad Khatim as well. He will operate from the right wing. Hijazi and Rishad already very central. Oh, quickly delivered. It was a decent ball. The referee blows the whistle. Stand stops play. Injury concern. Now the stands eventually gonna fill up. Now the home team will be in action in a must-win encounter against Bhutan. It's a do-or-die contest for both the teams. You do expect both of them to play an open brand of football. Good to see Sri Lankan fans as well. The victory against Maldives in the last game, given that belief that this side can spring a lot of surprises this season. This was the previous attack from Subhash Bam. A lot of trickery, effortlessly past one. And there you go, there's that dummy. Takes him on the outside and unleashes the shot with his left foot. And not in a control. He should have gone for placement rather than power. Nepal's story in this competition is one of legacy. They hosted the very first edition in 2015 and crowned it with triumph in a final decided by nerves from the spot against the Blue Coats. In 2017 they rose again, but won it 2-0. A nation that knows what it takes to reach the summit, and even in more recent times in 2024, they reached the final again, only to fall to Bangladesh. And so Nepal do not arrive as hopefuls, they arrive as a team with history and with expectation. Well, this 50-50 battle is going to be a lot more interesting. But this game lacking pace at the moment. A possession mostly with the men in red. They are dominating the ball at present. Sri Lanka just very patient, waiting for the opposition to commit a mistake where they can capitalize and remove the sting out of Nepal's high tempo. Now, can Sri Lanka, for the first time in their history, make it to the knockout stage? That was Aiden Pereira. Sri Lanka's journey has been a very difficult one. In 2019, they finished at the bottom of their group. Defeats to India and Bangladesh, both by 3 goals, marking a difficult campaign. But in 2022, in a round-robin format, the story remained similar. 3 losses from 4, and just a single point to show their effort. But what we see now is evolution. A side beginning to grow, to compete, to believe, and perhaps to rewrite their history. Now, these tournaments are far more than just competitions. They are the foundations. A place where young players step into international football, often for the very first time, and finding some joy down the right wing. Dharbendra Kunwar, the captain, cuts it back. First time cross. Beautiful chance. Subhash Bomb slams it home. 1-0 for Nepal. Beautiful movement. Crisp passing. And a glorious finish from the number 10. Goals in back-to-back games. Subhash Bomb opens the scoring for the Gorkha Brigade.
Goal for Team Nepal by jersey number 10, Subhash Bomb.
Here is the attack. Good cross in from Ganesh Magar. Decent first touch, make the angle friendlier for him. And he slams it home with ease. Unmarked, unchallenged, under no compulsion. A lovely glide on from Sujan Dangal. And that will go down as an assist from the number 9. Even though Subhash Baum is on the score sheet for the second time this season, but all credits to Sujan Dangal for that clever flick onto his path. A goal and an assist for the number 9. And now gets in behind. Is there a quick response? Just over. Immediately Sri Lanka showing signs. It was Hussein Abdullah, the captain, who went up for it. Inviting cross, beautifully delivered by Mohammad Khatib. Went up for it and slightly just couldn't keep it on target, couldn't keep it within the framework. Subhash Bam, very lively, like a live wire from the left flank for Nepal. He's cutting his way through like hot knife through butter. And that shows the last game wasn't a flash in the pan for the young number 10. A 50-50 situation. Rishad in a battle with Alik Shrestha. Is Dharbendra Kunwar. Back to Rohan Mokhtar. Almost a similar start from the last game for Sri Lanka. And Nepal were unchanged from that previous game. Oh, Jurjan Shrestha didn't want to change the winning combination. Not a coach who would make those unnecessary changes and trying to establish a continuity in terms of the team selection. And in such a league come knockout tournament, it's all about how quickly you find your best level in the field of play. And how quickly you manage to do that is the challenge. Just asking the players to calm down, relax, relax is the word from the technical area. But these are young players. Mood fluctuation is quite normal at this age. It's important to keep control over emotions and not get carried away or get overawed by the situation. All those psychological factors which the coaches they work with, they deal with when you are in charge of a youth side.
Substitution for Sri Lanka. Jersey number 7.
Sri Lanka making an early change.
Jersey number 8. Mohammad Sahib.
Rahashab Shihab has been replaced. More of a tactical ploy. And Mohammed comes on. Am I Mohammed? Now Sri Lanka are pressing. From the touch line, that was the captain Hussein Abdullah, shrugged off, out-muscled by Nepal's industrious play. And there you go, the water break. And nearly the half an hour mark. And Nepal are leading by this goal. A lovely guide on from Sujan Dangal and a beautiful finish from Subhash Baum. He was indeed pretty by all the journalists of this region ahead of this tournament, and he justifies his inclusion in this Nepal squad. We saw Niranjan Dhami do a similar kind of a thing in 2024, a couple of goals in the group stage, and then a goal in the semi-final against Bhutan. It's so animated. Ahmed Al-Mannai, the head coach of Sri Lanka, mostly managed futsal teams. In the inaugural edition of the SAFF Futsal Championship, we saw Al-Mannai lead the Sri Lankan futsal side. This is the third time Sri Lanka have conceded in this tournament. Oh, the defense looks disjointed since the first game. And if you lose league goals in such a crucial tie, it can be problematic. Nepal certainly must have taken note of Sri Lanka's strong areas. These days, there is a video analyst with every team, and every player is scanned properly. And how many times a particular player makes a touch in a particular position, the number of entries, and everything. The opposition takes note of. The translation had a fair knowledge about how Sri Lanka gonna play this evening and how they're gonna approach this game. And Sri Lanka got to prove that the last game wasn't a fluke. And some of them did consider the result of the last an upset result. These competitions are foundations, a place where young players they step into international football often for the very first time, where talent is not just displayed but tested. And for federations, it is about identifying the future. For players, it is about becoming it. Here is Bum. On the overlap is Bijoy. Laid back. Searching ball in. Another Sanapala dives and dives well. Smothers the ball completely. No power on that header. This could be Sri Lanka's chance. Quick turnover from the Lankans. A couple of bodies waiting inside the box. That's straight to Pemba Nurbu. He used his outstep for the cross. It didn't go the right way. The three white shirts made their way into the penalty area. The final deliveries got to be better. The shouts of handball not given. The referee feels it's a soft one. Nepal have been one of the strong pillars of youth football in this region. Consistent performers, frequent contenders, and often champions. They have shown that with the structure and belief a system can produce a success. And in doing so, they have helped raise the competitive standard across South Asia. Now Sri Lanka, their contribution lies in persistence. In rebuilding phases, they have continued to invest in youth and to create pathways to keep the game alive within their system. And slowly, steadily, that effort begins to show. Subhash tries to link up with the number 12. That's poor. Sloppy down there from Ganesh Magar. Trouble brewing. Quickly onto the loose, Mohammad Zaid. Sri Lanka have managed a corner for themselves. Can they get back into this game? "36 minutes gone past us." Delivered towards the back post. A good looking ball. Just needed a touch. And Hussein Abdullah is bewildered that nobody able to touch it. Even the slightest of touches would have done the trick for Sri Lanka. Now Mohammad Zaid trying to get on the end of that delivery.
Defense out! Out!
Ahmed Al Manai looks restless.
Come here! One defense! Adil! Go!
And can he find room for the cross? Turned back.
Play!
For young players, there is no substitute for minutes on the pitch. It builds skill, but matches build understanding. But decision making, the composure, awareness, all in real moments, under real pressure. And the more they play, the more they grow, and that growth defines the future of the game.
No, Twara, no! Direct!
Now this tournament already delivered 11 goals. 11 in 3.5 games. A sign not just of attacking intent, but of
No pass here! No!
openness, of fearlessness.
Up!
Because youth football is really cautious. It is expressive, it is unpredictable, and it is alive. Hey, man to man, speak! Another one into the break. 5 minutes of regulation time left in the first half.
Man to man!
And Nepal could be dangerous from the set pieces as well. Oh, incredible distance on that throw in. And he will attack the ball at the back post, Subhash Bam, as he always does.
Okay. Hey, defense!
The two coaches contrasting emotions. U20 Sreshta doesn't look too relaxed though. He knows it. Just a slender lead. Sri Lanka have done the unthinkable against Maldives in the last game. So no scope to settle down, no scope to drop your guard. Nepal hardly been tested in the first 45. We saw a similar kind of strength when Sri Lanka took on Maldives, and suddenly the entire script changed in the second 45. I wonder what's going to be the halftime team talk from Ahmed Al-Mannai this evening here. He made just one change. Rashad Shibab went off. Mohammad Zayed was brought on. And no such impact yet. Just try to maintain their shape. And Nepal have got players who can exploit the gaps in behind the Sri Lankan defence. The likes of Subhash Bam, Dharmendra Kunwar, Sujan Tangol, so skillful. And now the former tracks the ball, takes it out wide. And they can take on players. Most of them very skillful. Nishat Lawat is one of them. Nishan keeps going. Followed by the challenge. Rishad with the put in from behind. And now Hijazi. On the counter, here comes Sri Lanka. Far ahead of Hussain Abdullah. Keeper gets there. Pemba Nurbu. Hardly been tested. Pretty relaxed, this Nepal side. Now Sri Lanka gonna come at them, all guns blazing in the second half. They just got to ensure that they don't concede any further in the remaining minutes of this half.
Abdullah, don't stay here, my boss, too much.
Ahmed Al-Mannai likes to take the game deep. We haven't had too many stoppages in the first 45. For the first time, Nishan Lawat looks like a hand injury on his fingers. Might be a stamping. Nothing serious though. There's Mohammad Yasir for you. The left full back of Sri Lanka. Is Ahmed with the aerial ball. Roshan Mokhtar, so solid. Was smartly done. That doesn't reach Subhash Bam. 5 minutes added on. Beautiful covering. A lovely diagonal covering from Bijoy. Oh, commits early. Subhash Bam. Good tackle. Man on the follow-up. And wins a free kick, Nepal. Right outside the box, Alik Shrestha was brought down by Mohammad Maziyat. And we have the first booking of this game. There you go. A first time tackle. Gets something on the ball. Subhash Bam switched off and then Alik Shrestha. A lunging challenge on him. And this is well within scoring distance. We saw a wonderful goal directly from a free kick last evening. Ronan Sullivan scored that goal against Pakistan last evening. And now Nepal takes it. Comfortable for Nadal Senapala. John Bista was the player who took it. Very few in this setup featured in the Nepal Super League. Just 2 years in existence. He played for Jhapa FC though. I should have done better, John Bista, from that kind of a range. And there he is. Plays it across. Nishan Lawal. The instructions are clear, just to keep possession. And don't try anything extravagant. Keep hold of the ball and frustrate your opponents. Just a couple of minutes of additional time left. You don't want to concede in this phase. You go back to the whiteboard, regroup yourself and come back fresh for the second 45. But will Sri Lanka manage another comeback is the question which we look to answer. Gets there before Mohammad Yasir. And the game slightly erratic. Sri Lanka are still vulnerable at the back. The front line looks quite strong though, compared to the last few years. They got to work with their defensive unit. There is a lot of gaps, lapses in concentration. The defender, you got to keep your focus throughout 90 minutes. Unlike strikers, where you might manage another opportunity to score if you miss one. A thankless job for defenders. One mistake you concede, and all your hard work goes to vain. Another stoppage. And this is why Dharmendra Kurwan. Oh, sliding tackle. Full-fledged. And this can really hurt. This Dharmendra Kunwar from Jawaharlal Khel Youth Club. Captaining the national side comes with a lot of pride. An opportunity for the federation as well to assess the performance of these players, and they can take a call whom to select for the senior side. And there you go, the halftime whistle.
Ladies and gentlemen,
And Nepal go into the break with a slender lead. Subhash Bam scoring that goal. Sri Lanka, it's been a half tough for them. Spent most of it defending. Nepal will be happy with the way that they approached the first half. Subhash Bam scoring his second goal of this competition. One of Nepal's elite attacker of this level. When we come back after the break, we'll see how Sri Lanka they plan the next 45. That will be really interesting, and especially after their last game's performance. The fans will surely watch this with a lot of interest. And there you go, the highlights of the first 45. Sri Lanka versus Nepal, match number 4 of the SAFF Under-20 Championship. And this is how things kicked off. This was the first chance for Subhash. He found the gap and then checked in and struck crossbar. Dharmendra Kunwar as well on the follow-through with that glancing attempt, and both the times the crossbar came to the rescue for Sri Lanka. This was a fine close control from Oli Shrestha, but the shot wasn't one to remember from the number 21. Waves after waves from Nepal. This went over from Subhash Bam. He was really threatening from the left wing throughout the first half. Caused a lot of issues for the Sri Lankan defense. And then Nishan Lawat, between the two, delivered this pass, which was blocked first time. A cute little cutback. And then that guide on from Sujan Dangal, and Subhash Bam made no mistake. The cross was equally of good quality from Ganesh Magar. Those two combined to give Nepal the lead in this crucial fixture. The 3 points this evening will surely take them into the semi-finals. And this was Sri Lanka's only highlight moment. Half a chance from a corner. And apart from that, they've been busy defending. Don't go anywhere. We'll join you after the break. Welcome back. The players are out once again, and we are all set for the second half. It's been a tightly fought contest so far, but the bigger picture in the group adds even more intrigue. And earlier today, Nepal scored the goal via Subhash Bam in the first half. As we turn our attention back, 45 minutes remain. Narratives waiting to unfold, and perhaps a defining moment just around the corner. For Sri Lanka, the equation is now far more complicated. They'll have to rely on other results if this do not go their way, and then take care of business themselves against Bhutan in a couple of days' time. A win will send Nepal into the semi-finals, calm, composed and clinical. When it mattered the most, Subhash Bam. And we are underway in the second half. 45 minutes that could shape destinies, and not just in this game but in the wider story of the group. With Nepal already through, with Subhash Bam's strike in the first half, the stakes have risen for the second 45. For some, it's about control, and for Sri Lanka, it's about survival now. Immediately, a free kick. Zakaria has been brought on in place of Mohammed. We saw Sullivan score from a similar distance against Pakistan last evening. Will there be a reputation? Oh, taken shot. Oh, went for the bicycle kick. It wasn't on target. And Mohammed Zaid ruled it outright. And then the cross came in. Went for the acrobatic attempt. A bicycle kick from inside the 18-yard box. Very difficult to execute those techniques. Now Sri Lanka starting on the front foot, looking positive, moving forward aggressively. Exactly how they started against Maldives in the last game. Now the diagonal, Subhash Bam. Tracking him, Mohammed Kathim. Now stepping in Hijazi. He scored the equalizer against Maldives with his left foot from just outside the box, which hit the inside of the post and went in. And Zakaria, his partner Hijazi in midfield. And Rishad has been replaced. A couple of changes already from Sri Lanka. One in the first half, one right here. No conviction in the clearance. Falls kindly for Subhash Bam. Lovely footwork, Subhash Bam with the acceleration. As Subhash with the turn of pace, Subhash puts in a good cross, and that should have been finished. Danger is still lurking. Too high. Good pressure from Nepal. Alik Shrestha with the hit in the end. And Subhash Bam with a very good ball in. That should have been finished. Was blocked. on the turn. Alik Shrestha blazing it over.
Close.
Subhash bumps a goal that separates the two sides, a lead that has for now taken Nepal in a comfortable stage. And now getting ahead of his marker, the number 10. But couldn't quite get the shot away. And now fouled, earning it somehow, Alik Shrestha, right outside the box. Hijazi bringing him down. And there you go, the battle. A tickle round the back. A chance to add a second and perhaps put one foot firmly into the semi-finals. A set piece is often quite turning points in a game, and Nepal will sense the importance of this moment. Sujan Dangal taking it. And the first goal came off an indirect free kick. Sujan Dangal goes for the curler. Didn't get the dip he was looking for. And too much height as well.
Sir, not again. This,
Not
I
down,
thought this is the last one.
Why? Not down. Achaji.
And they were really troubling the goalkeeper.
Abdullah.
Nadal Senapala played for Gateway College in Colombo. Opportunities like these come and go, and Nepal won't mind too much, but they know a second goal would bring real comfort. They're searching for that. Sujan Dangal with a beautiful layoff, and the keeper was just a mere spectator. What a brilliant setup from Nepal. Here is that clever backheel from Sujan Dangal towards the on-rushing Alik Shrestha. He couldn't make that chance count.
One play, go! Go!
Another opportunity, and once again it goes begging for Nepal. The 52 minutes played, still just the one goal separating the sides, and Nepal will know they have had chances to put this beyond doubt. After 1-0, the door remains slightly ajar, and that's all Sri Lanka need to stay in the contest. It's often not the chances you take, but the ones you don't, that keeps the game alive. Nepal are knocking, but the finishing still eludes them.
Man to man. Go. Hey! Yalla, Ziad! Double!
Another good take. Comfortable for Nadal Senapala.
Go!
Sri Lanka just haven't quite found that spark today. Not like we saw in the Maldives game, but that could change from this attack. One touch too many. The energy, the urgency, the cutting edge. In the final third, it all seems a touch missing this evening. And on their day, Sri Lanka can be vibrant, expressive, But today they've struggled to find the same rhythm. At 1-0 down, you feel they need something, a moment to spark, to reignite the challenge. The intent is there, but the inspiration hasn't quite arrived. They're now holding up play. And tries that nutmeg. Ahmed closing it down in time. Sri Lanka took the game by storm against Maldives in the second half. Completely at the opposite end of that spectrum in this game. Nepal are attacking. Sri Lanka a peg back inside their half. Sometimes it's not about a complete transformation. It's just a subtle shift in tempo, in belief, and Sri Lanka are trying to get there. Where they need an inspiration somewhere or the other. John Bista brought down. Prashant Mokhtan takes it. It's a floated delivery. A couple of players outside the box waiting for it. Hacked away by Sri Lankan defense. That's a terrible back pass. Could be trouble. Away from one. This could be the moment for Sri Lanka. Players arriving. Delays too much. Still manages to. It digs it out. Zakaria, not the bright idea. On the counter, here is Nepal. It's 3v3. Now came in from behind, made that run, Subhash Bam. From the inner channel. Nadal Senapala onto the ball. Had to make a forced change. Ahmed Al-Manai in the last game, his first choice keeper Shahid picked up a very serious head injury. Had to rely on Nadal Senapala, had no other options. The goalkeeper contributed to Maldives' second goal. Ilan Imran with a simple tap in, and in an attempt to clear the ball, he miscued it completely. He came a long way off his line as well, which eventually turned into a scoring opportunity for Maldives. Defeat not going to do good to them unless the next game between Bhutan and Maldives ends in a draw. This is lovely. Sujan Dangal. Still going. Sujan Dangal. Good goalkeeping. Nadal Senapala. Quickly rushing out. No, the job's not done yet. Gurjan Sreshta.
Go Abud, go Abud. Yes, go, go Hajaji, go. All here, all here, all here. What time lost? Hajaji, Hajaji, go. Hey, wait, wait, wait.
The likes of Hijazi, Mohammad Khatim, they really need to get involved more. Someone need to take that onus to move the ball forward. And Subhash Bam with his threatening learns from the left hand side have kept the Sri Lankan defense jitters. Even the two fullbacks haven't been functional. Mohammad Maziyat and Yasir.
Abdallah, finish.
Lovely ball. This can split open the Lankan defense. He keeps going off the bar. Subhash Bam, would you believe it? For the second time this evening. Could have added to his tally of 2 already. Beautiful run, perfectly timed. Extraordinary first touch and then the shot. A terrific vertical movement.
Abdallah, come, wide, come.
Against the woodwork.
My friend, quickly.
Alex Shrestha, what about that shift? Oh, so heavy. The first touch somehow manages to get over. Yet again. For the 4th time. And this relationship with the woodwork needs to end for Nepal. If they are to extend the margin and head into the last 4. The result is still enough to carry them into the semi-final, but this was the attack from the captain. Dharmendra rides the challenge of the crossbar. The 4th time Nepal have struck the woodwork, so close to putting this game to bed, but the second goal just refuses to come. It has been that kind of an evening for the Gorkhas, doing almost everything right, yet denied by the finest of margins. Span of just a few seconds. The bar yet again becoming the barrier. It has been that kind of an evening, doing everything right. At 1-0, the game stays alive and Sri Lanka will take hurt from that. The post stands firm and the contest lingers on. It hasn't been without its moment. Chances missed, pressure absorbed, but Nepal have vanished the game with a certain calm. A lot of area. This man Bijoy. Bijoy's cross is partially cleared. Falls to a red shirt. Subhash Bam. Subhash Bam. Wide once more. He ran riot across the Sri Lankan defense. And sometimes the score line doesn't show the right story. Could have been up by multiple goals now. It was Ganesh Magar this time, pardon me, not Subhash Bam, who took that shot.
Hey, go.
A surge after surge, they keep coming forward, probing, testing, but still that elusive second goal missing. 64 minutes played and it's chance after chance for Nepal now. They have stretched Sri Lanka, created openings, struck the woodwork. It's been a performance full of intent. But at just 1-0, the game refuses to settle and that keeps Sri Lanka hanging on. Opportunity is flowing, but the finish still waiting to arrive. Sri Lanka making another change. And remember, Sri Lanka have done this before in their last game. They have scored 3 goals in the second half to turn it around and win. And so while Nepal have been dominant, this contest is far from over. Sri Lanka know how to find a way late on. Must limping. Well, the injury looks serious. Will be replaced by the number 17.
Substitution for Sri Lanka. This is number 12.
Third change from Ahmed Al-Manai.
13, Adil Ahmad.
Adil Ahmed comes on.
Hey, no. Hey, go, one come, freeze it.
Adil Ahmed replaces injured Mohammad Yasir. The football often has a memory.
Out.
Sri Lanka will draw belief from that very recent past. And all it takes is one goal and suddenly the story begins to change. The past whispers possibility. The present still hangs in the balance. Lovely interchange. Skips past the challenge. And played it right on the edge. The ball was bobbing and eventually ran away from a red shirt. Hatim comes on as well. Number 17. Here comes Sri Lanka.
Down. Go.
Hatim Ahmed. Nepal are yet to make a substitution. Younes and Shrestha are just relying on these chunk of players he believes can get them over the line this evening. But given the amount of chances they've had, they could have easily buried this. Well, the missed opportunity still keeps Sri Lanka in the contest. 1-0, never a safe scoreline.
Hey, take from there. Yeah. Amal, very good. Yeah, very good. Adil, you don't go.
Nepal can become the first team to make it to the semi-finals of this edition of the SAFF Under-20 Championship.
Wakadim.
In that case, Sri Lanka will remain second with 3 points from 2 games. And with Maldives facing Bhutan next, that result also gonna make some kind of impact in terms of deciding which team qualifies, which team joins Nepal from Group A into the top four. Even though there's a lot of time left in the clock, Sri Lanka will steal on a low drive, optimistic.
Very good, good price, good price.
Nodabu will have no problems. From Kathmandu Kickers Academy to Nepal national team. Once Anfa under 16 Youth League best goalkeeper for Machindra. Couldn't manage to keep a clean sheet against Bhutan, scored, conceded late in the game. But Sri Lanka's from a similar kind of area, another attempt. This time it's comfortably blocked. Kathim, we haven't seen much of him in this game. Nepal still holding on to that 1-0 lead. They created more than enough to be comfortable, but the second goal continues to elude them. Games like these often hinge on that next moment, either the cushion of a second or the twist of an equalizer. Continues with his run. Evades a couple of red shirts, but couldn't quite get past the third. The play stopped. The referee just running towards him to have a check. Vigyam Khatka ready to come on.
Substitution for Nepal.
Sujan Tangol sacrificed.
Replaced by jersey number 11, Vigyam Khatka.
On the 71st minute mark, Urjan Shrestha makes the first change. Here is the man. His dream unfulfilled. Gotten so close season before last. The dream remained a dream. Chance to fulfill that this time around. What they've managed to do is that they've strengthened their defense this time around. A very common say in football, attackers wins you matches, but defenders can win you tournaments. Now the offside clearly.
Abdullah, where you go? Down here, Abdullah. Hey, what's here? Masai, very good, Masai, very good. Very good. Go, 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 go. Let it go. Go, go. Jazzy, run. Jazzy.
The game just entering its most delicate phase. Nepal trying to balance control with caution. Sri Lanka searching for that one bit of opening. Action at the other end. Well seen by Anadal Sanapala. Nepal just painted most of the picture so far. Chances control. Finishing stroke. Still neglecting them. And when that happens, the opposition never quite leaves. Sri Lanka still lingering, still believing. It's curious space in a game where one team has done enough to lead but not quite enough to rest easy. The lead is real, but the comfort isn't. This might be the chance for Sri Lanka. Oh, brilliantly done! Went for the header. Makes the wrong choice. Could have gone with his feet. Decision making so crucial. In the final third, we keep saying that most of the players from the South Asian region, they lack in front of goal. Was a glorious ball from Mohammad Khatib. What a brilliant pass. I'm not going to get too many scoring opportunities in a game so evenly matched. That could have been the moment for Sri Lanka. A real opportunity, it goes begging their best chance of this game. But that's a reminder that this game is far from settled. When you are chasing a game, moments like these carry extra weight, and Sri Lanka will feel that was one. The chance arrived, but the finish didn't follow. The second drinks break. A chance for both the sides to pause, to regroup and rethink the pace of this contest. For Nepal, it's about composure now, managing the lead, maybe finding that one last decisive moment. But for Sri Lanka, the break could be crucial. A moment to reset and go again in search of an equalizer. And these little pauses often carry big significance. A breather for the body and clarity for the mind. Now we've seen momentum shift after these water breaks. There's still about 12 minutes of regulation time left and perhaps a final twist still waiting. Nepal have struck the post 4 times. A bit of a cheer from the Sri Lankan fans. And play eventually gonna resume. 78 minutes on the clock. Into the closing stretch now. Nepal still holding that slender lead. Refreshed legs, perhaps clear minds. These next few minutes could define the outcome. Sri Lanka got to show some urgency. No more waiting, no more holding back. And after the pause, the game often finds a new rhythm. Let's see who settles quicker. Just the final act, and the script is still unfinished.
Yeah, very good, very good. No.
Nepal are defending and defending deep. And this man, John Bista, playing a very pivotal
Ladies
role
and gentlemen,
in the heart of
total
midfield.
attendance for this match is 451.
451 is the total official attendance for this game. Last night it was almost 2600 between Bangladesh and Pakistan, and when India take on Pakistan tomorrow, you do expect that number to drastically rise. Last evening, I remember, more than 83,000 fans turned up onto our platform to watch the game. That is the craze for football in the South Asian region. Ten minutes of regulation time. It's been a lead that's asked questions more than it's given comfort to U20 Shrestha. Sri Lanka, they know it. One moment, one opening, and everything changes. This is where games are often decided not by flair, but by nerve, by who holds their shape and who holds their belief. And 9 minutes where the time begins to speak louder than anything else. So searching ball, knocks it down, but only finds a red shirt to clear. Yeah, this result is more than enough to take Nepal if this ends this way at full time. They've done the hard work, now it's about seeing it through. For Sri Lanka, the equation is far more delicate. A defeat here means they'll have to look beyond this game, depend on the other results, and then win their final group game against Bhutan day after tomorrow. Which means every minute from here carries weight, not just for today, but for what lies ahead.
Try to win the ball.
Maziat with the throw. A low hit, drops right on the edge. It's blocked by a host of red shirts, closing down the shooting angle. Tournament is really just about one performance. It's about timing, combinations, and sometimes a little help from elsewhere.
Take the ball, go, bring the ball.
For Sri Lanka, the door to the semis not closed yet, but it's beginning to narrow. For them, it's very much open. Urjan Shrestha knows it, barking out instructions, asking his defense to maintain the shape, maintain the discipline. They defended with a lot of grit and determination. Does extremely well to find that gap and spot Subhash Bam. Subhash Bam cutting through. Three white shirts always surrounds him. There's the danger man. He's got the trickery, he's got the flair. A very technical player. Bijoy. Remember him scoring that 87th minute strike for Brigade Boys against Sri Youth Club in the Martyrs Memorial B League. The shouts of handball not given. Here is the Bangladesh team. We saw the head coach, Mark Cox, was extremely happy with last evening's result as they aim to beat India in the last group game when they take the field the coming Saturday. It's going to be the last group game of this edition. Turn of pace, Subhash Bam. Pass two in a jiffy. The outcome, just letting him down. Unable to come up with quality in terms of the cross. The regulation time of 4 minutes left. Sri Lanka still searching, still pushing. They know one moment. These are the minutes that test temperament. The clarity of thought matters more than anything else. Every pass, every clearance and every decision now carries weight. Less than 4 minutes standing between Nepal and the knockouts. Will be additional time as well. There is gap. Was a decent ball in. Unable to deal with it. A couple of white shirts in there. Mohammad Khatib concedes a very soft corner. A chance not just to attack but to manage. This is where the game awareness comes in. Use the ball, keep possession and take the sting out of the contest. The insurance goal still evades them. Dharbendra Kunwar that spun away from the target. At this stage, it's not about patterns or plans, it's about nerve, about holding your composure. And Nadal Senapala goes down. Sri Lanka will play Bhutan next, and Nepal will take on Maldives in their last group game. And if they secures a victory here, you might see Jurgen Shrestha test his reserve bench against Maldives. I might see him preserve his players, keep them fresh for the semi-finals. The winners of Group A to take on the winners, the runners-up from Group B in semi-final 1. A double change from Sri Lanka. Ahmed Al-Mannai playing his cards. trying to use his weapons in the armory.
Substitution.
Hussein Abdullah, the Sri Lankan skipper, is off. Savindu comes on.
Nazmi Ahmad. Also substitution for Sri Lanka. Jersey number 6, Ahmad Hijazi, replaced by jersey number 5, Savindu PK.
Savindu replacing Hijazi. A like for like change.
Team push, team push, team push, very good, team push. Yeah, very good, go.
Urging his players to go for the press.
Ball, left right.
And that was nicely done. Almost won it, Sri Lanka.
There will be 7 minutes of
Play on, says the ref. It was a very difficult angle. We are now into the additional minutes.
Side.
7 minutes of stoppage time. Now it's all about holding the nerve. 7 more minutes stands between Nepal and the knockouts. For Sri Lanka, this is a lifeline. One final window to change their fate. The stoppage time often stretches more than the clock. It stretches belief and composure and resolve. And every second now feels heavier. Every moment more significant.
substitution for
Anubhav
Nepal.
Puri
Jersey number 21, Alex Restav.
is on for Nepal.
17, Anubhav Puri.
Steals a few seconds. Alex Shrestha taken off.
Corner. Our ball, corner.
It was a corner. And no nonsense clearance from Nepal. Who gets the better of his marker, using his upper body strength, and the second touches him. He still manages to draw a save of Nadal Senapala. Lovely one back, pickpocketed Subhash Bhav. Sri Lankan defense. That was a good save from the keeper. He rushes out of his line and closes down the shooting angle. He makes himself big, narrows down the angle. The second touch became slightly heavy. And there you go, the run. Good solo run. Could have squared it up for the number 17, Anubhav Puri. Was in a scoring position. He went all by himself. Just 4 minutes left. Nepal still searching for the Israel's goal, and yet again the goalkeeping brilliance from Nadal Senapala. Ganesh Magar. That was the moment to put the game to bed and possibly secure a place into the knockouts. That sat up nicely for Ganesh Magar. A brilliant save from Nadal Senapala, corner for Nepal. Had to be alert, had to react quickly, and he does that just to keep his side in it. But they have it here. Sri Lanka.
Left ball.
Will they have one last say? Nadal Sanapala's forehand keeping their hopes still alive of getting at least a point out of this game.
Put it down. Switch. Go, Khadim.
These final moments aren't about tactics anymore. They are about resolve, about seeing it through. Got to spot that pass. Got to look up. Finds a Subhash Bam. He can run down the clock. It's Bigyan Khatta. Very poor first touch. That was below par from the number 11. And now the reward is within seconds. Final throw, one last attempt to change the story for Sri Lanka. The time at this stage becomes the biggest ally for one and the greatest opponent for the other. Nepal edging closer with every passing second. Less than 60 seconds where dreams begin to turn into reality. Or will there be a twist in the tale?
All here, my boss. Side, put it down. Push, get push.
Sri Lanka still sensing something.
Very good, go, Zaki, come.
Just about 20 seconds left.
Zaki, come back.
A brilliant display from Nepal. The score line doesn't show the true picture. They could have won it by multiple goals. And now Sri Lanka can change it altogether. The delay is a bit too much in getting the shot away. And now on the offensive transition, Nepal. They will delay Gary on the ball. Wins it off him clean. And a giveaway for Sri Lanka. Subhash Bam picks it up. Shifts it to the right. Can he get the return? Advantage for the keeper. And with that, the final whistle. Nepal are through to the semi-finals. It becomes the first team in this edition of the SAFF Under-20 Championship 2026 to book their place into the last four. A narrow 1-0 win, but one built on control, composure and just enough cutting edge. Subhash Bam's goal, the difference, a moment that now carries Nepal into the knockouts. Sri Lanka battled, showed glimpses, especially in the second half, but couldn't quite find that equalizer. In a tournament, it's not always about how much you score. Sometimes it's about knowing when one goal is enough. And now for Sri Lanka, their fate hangs on the other result, with one final group game still to come. And Nepal take their step forward. The journey continues. Back-to-back victories, 6 points from 2 games. They cement their position on top of Group A. And now the battle is going to be for the second place from this group. Subhash Bam's a strike enough to take them into the semi-finals. The goals in back-to-back games for the number 10. Nurjan Shrestha will be a very relieved man. Had been under tremendous pressure, 3 years in charge of the side. Haven't been able to get their hand on the trophy. That drought could well end the season.
I kindly request High Commissioner
Very balanced side this time around.
Mohammed Rizvi Hassan to give away the
Resolute in
award.
defense. A victory with a clean sheet. Sri Lanka, still chance for them though. If they manages to beat Bhutan in the last group game, they can occupy the second spot and move their way as the second team from Group A. And the players, they head towards the crowd. Joining them in celebration. Not a big number, but that can go up on 1st of April and even on 3rd of April if they make their way into the finals. Subhash Bam is today's player of the match for scoring that decisive goal. What a player. One for the future. He's glittered in big stage. And now time to hear from him what he has to share after this performance.
Today is a very important match for us, and it's like very important to reach semi-final, and we won the match. And again, we have a match against Maldives. So again, third match we will play for the win, and definitely, hopefully, we can do something in this tournament. It's no matter India or Bangladesh or Pakistan will reach semi-final. We're ready for that. We'll prepare our best and we'll ready to face and fight for the battle. Thank you.
Well, that's that from the post-match. We'll show you the highlights of this game. It's been a cagey affair. And the second half, a lot more probing. This is how things started here at the National Football Stadium in Male between Sri Lanka and Nepal. They were the better side straight away on the front foot, and then clattered the crossbar in a span of few seconds a couple of times. The captain also getting in on the act. And Nepal kept on coming at them. Alex Shrestha with a drive which wasn't on target. Used the outside of his boot. And Subhash Bam cutting in like a hot knife through butter. Turned his man inside out. And then Nishan Lawat with that carry inside the opposition's half. And found Dharmendra with a smart cutback and a guide on from Sujan Dangal, and the finish from the number 10, Subhash Bam. A good team goal. A lovely touch from Sujan Dangal. Just helped down towards Subhash Bam. And a simple finish. That was Sri Lanka's only highlight moment of the first 45 from the corner. None of them able to get on the end of that. A sigh of relief for Nepal. And then in the second half, from this free kick, it didn't work out. An acrobatic hit right from the edge of the area. That was Mohammad Farik who went up. Then Subhash Bam with his turn of pace left a couple of white shirts for dead. Left them down on the deck. It was a lovely setup. Blocking the shooting line. Shot off Deadlock, route to goal. And then from this free kick, Nepal tried hard to extend the lead. The curler was a disappointing one from Sujan Dangal. And the attacks kept on coming. There was a number 10 once more. Brings the post into action. And very similar to the first half. Within a span of few seconds, back-to-back times Nepal have struck at the post. Otherwise the scoreline could have been a shambolic one for Sri Lanka. The crossbar just limiting the damage. And this was Ganesh with the hit. Managed to find room for the shot, but the angle was very challenging for the number 12. This was Sri Lanka's only positive move of this game via Mohammad Atim. Should have scored the captain Hussein Abdullah. Went with his head. And Bam's corner. That spun away. And Nepal was in control. The last moment, he shrugged off his man and tried to set it up, tried to score the second, but brilliant goalkeeping from Nadal Senapala, and in the end, it ended 0-1 at full time. Back-to-back good saves from the keeper. He was called into action, and in the end, the scoreline ended at 0-1. Sri Lanka still have a chance, but Nepal have made their way into the semi-finals. Well, thanks for being with us. We'll join you shortly.